Hello and welcome back to the Liverpool Groove. Back after a bit of a hiatus due to personal reasons, but it's good to be back. We're raring to go. We need to talk about the Reds. I haven't really done it since not doing this, so it'd be nice to get to talk about it again. Gonna look back at the 3 games so far this season, look ahead to the next game, and just talk about everything else that's been going on so far. So we've made a decent start to the season. 7 points from 3 games, which isn't too bad. Could have done better against Chelsea, maybe, but Tuchel's a good defensive coach, so it's understandable that they just held on for the 1-1, really.
Yeah, obviously start with Norwich. I thought we had spells where we just tore them apart. We looked at just an easy game now. They countered us a few times, but you get that goal off Jota, and it's plain sailing then from then on in it, really.
Yeah.
I love the fact that in the first 3 games, people are already counting us out. We haven't bought a striker and all that. All of our front 4 have scored already. In 3 games into the league. No one's looked at that. We haven't got a chance, but Jota, Firmino, Mane, Salah, they've all scored already. So quite happy with how it's going. Say Norwich was one of them. We just turned up. We played some lovely footy. Jota doing what he does in the box goal. He reminds, I said it last season as well. His movements and the way he approaches the game, and he's always looking for that little gap. He reminds me of Fowler, and it's a massive compliment. He's obviously not at that level, but he's still young, and he plays the game like that. He just wants to score, and that's what I like about him.
Yeah, he's so confident, and I think you've seen it more. Like last season with us, he was obviously a good player at Wolves, and that's why we wanted him. But the level he's come on with us, I think, has just been unbelievable, and that obviously comes with playing with better quality players, training with the likes of Salah and Mane every day. But not only that, he's become a mainstay for Portugal as well. So every international break, he's getting to train with Ronaldo, someone else he can learn off and pick up things off, and you really start to see it. He's become so clinical, and I think soon we're going to be talking about a new front 3, and I think you're going to be looking at Bobby as the one to come in rather than the other way around. Because if he carries on the way he's playing at the minute, we're not going to have a choice but to keep starting him.
Yeah, I agree. You have sentiment, and I love Bobby Firmino. Won't have a bad word said about him. Even this season, he's scored, and he started against Chelsea, and I thought he was the best player on the pitch until he went off. I thought he was bringing out their centre halves. He was making space for the wide men, and then he got his knock. But you can't take away goals if a lad's scoring goals. You can't take him out the team, unfortunately. Just one of them. It's at the moment, it's the same with Harvey Elliott. People are saying about Thiago, he needs to start. At the moment, Harvey Elliott hasn't put a foot wrong. So until he does, he's got to start. So he's been, not even just defensively, he's here, there and everywhere. He's winning the ball back in our half and making 30-yard passes up the pitch. So I can't fault the lad.
No, he's been brilliant. I think he's actually been a bit of a breath of fresh air. He's just got that desire, that hunger. Not to say that the rest of the midfielders haven't, but they're proven. He's obviously coming in, 18-year-old kid, 19-year-old kid, with a big point to prove. And like I've said it, and people might ridicule me for this, but at his age now, 18, 19, he's further along in his development than Phil Foden was at his age. And Phil Foden's seen as the next big thing for English football. And I agree, don't get me wrong, Phil Foden's a fantastic player, as much as I hate the mank little bastard. But he's an unbelievable player. I think Harvey Elliott is better at the same age than what Phil Foden was.
Yeah, you can always compare young lads. It's how they're treated as well. And Phil Foden's come through. He's obviously got a chance with England and all that. But we've seen Harvey Elliott come through with Blackburn and how good he was there when we got him from Fulham. How good he was there. You know, he just looks a very good player, and he's coming to Liverpool and he doesn't look out of place. And that's a bit scary. If there's an opposition player, I'd be a bit scared to think. We don't know what he's about, really. I haven't seen a lot of him. But fuck me, he's good.
Yeah.
And for me, I just don't think we'll talk about it later, the transfer window and that, but you've got dickheads saying we need another midfielder. If we needed another midfielder, we'd have went and bought one. He went and bought one. He's got all his confidence in Curtis Jones, Harvey Elliott, Keita, Oxlade-Chamberlain, and the starters, Fabinho, Henderson, and Thiago. But at the moment, you've got an 18-year-old kid keeping one of the world's best midfielders out because he's had a knock, but Thiago's not getting in that team at the moment because Harvey Elliott's keeping him out, and that's all credit to Harvey Elliott. He's been brilliant.
Yeah, 100%. Couldn't agree more. Another player I want to get your opinion on, becoming, I don't know if you can call him a cult hero just yet, but Kostas, Tsimikas.
Great. He is. It's like they've cloned Andy Robbo, and I didn't think he'd ever be able to do that, but his work rate, his fight, he's known as the Greek Scouser because he just fights and fights for that ball. And again, I can't knock him. His delivery is brilliant. He gets up the pitch. He's more like a John Arnorisa type player where he burst up, with the ball, whereas Robbo will burst without it.
Yeah.
If you get me. He burst up the pitch with the ball, starts first time crosses, all that. Yeah, I like him. And I get people's opinion that we need a right back of a similar quality to cover strength, but there's not always availability with that type of player. I couldn't name one now that's available. So yeah, the fans have taken to him again, and that's it. The proper Liverpool fans, you come in, you show a bit of heart, bit of passion, bit of desire, and you fight, and you're the fans' favourite, and he's starting to do that as well. So again, Robbo against Chelsea, Robbo shouldn't have started. He wasn't himself. Kostas, Tsimikas, I can't even say his name, deserved to start, and that's the only issue I've got at the moment is that Klopp has got his little favourites in there, and for me, you get in the team on merit or through your opponent player getting injured. Once you play well in that position, your opponent player can't get back in until you're injured or you make mistakes. So for me, at this moment, give Robbo a rest, just a rest. Give him a game out, and let's see what the Greek Scouser can do.
Yeah, I agree, and I agree with the point you made about the proper fans. If you try, if they give it 110% every game, the fans take to them. The fans love them, and I think that's why Liverpool, more than any other club, have got so many like cult heroes. They mightn't have been the greatest players, but they just fucking gave their all, and the fans love them. And it's also players who fucking like you, Lucas and Jordan Henderson, who've been wrote off so many times during their time at Liverpool. And when Lucas left, I think most people were gutted. Fans, at least anyway. I know I was gutted. I was devastated when he left. I loved him.
I loved Lucas. Never had a bad word to say about it. Henderson never questioned his desire. Went through a 6-12 month period where I questioned his actual ability. He was making mistakes. He was playing 10 long balls a game and only 2 were getting there. That's all in the past now. He's world class. Lucas was world class at what he done. Just kicking people and winning the ball back in our own half and in dangerous areas and doing what it took to stop attacks, whether it was to slide in and win the ball or slide in and take a booking, he'd do it. And that's all we want. Dirk Kuyt was the same. Wasn't the best technical footballer, but my God, he worked his ass off every week, and that's where all his goals come from. They all come from hard work and that desire to get in the box. So we've had loads of them over the years. And that is all. That's all our fans want to see. Sometimes it's not enough. Sometimes it's just you might work your ass off, but you're still making too many mistakes and not doing things right enough. And but you still get a clap off the cop. If you leave, you're sold. You still wished well, and good luck to you. But
no, that's it.
It's just one of them. I think he's how old is he now? About 24.
Something like that. Yeah, he's a good age. And
so
he's like a carbon copy of Robbo, so it stands us in really good stead.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, really does.
Beats having Alberto Moreno, doesn't
he? He's the weirdest one I've ever seen him. he could do anything with a ball, but then do it backwards towards his own goal, and you just think, it's like he just had an issue in the head where he had to do something good and then 3 things bad. But again, he's another one. You see him, he's not a cult hero. He wasn't very good for us, but he still didn't hide. He still worked hard.
Yeah, he
And
did.
then you see him when he's won the cup with Sevilla and that, and he's having a go at United. Get out, Man United. That is what you like. That's what Liverpool does to you. Your rivals are still your rivals, even when you've left them. That's what this club's about, isn't it?
That's
leaves a tattoo on your heart, I think. This club.
Absolutely. No, it's good to see that so many of our former players have had such good things to say about Liverpool itself, even if their time at the club wasn't as well as it could have been. Gregory Vignal, who we had on a few weeks back, was the same. His time at Liverpool might not have gone how we wanted it to go, but we were buzzing with it because he had nothing but good things to say about it.
He couldn't hide the smile when you mentioned the word Liverpool or the Reds. He was brilliant, and that's it. So you've got players who it hasn't worked out for as well. Well, it didn't work out too bad for him. He won the treble, didn't he? But it's just one of them. Sometimes it doesn't work out personally for them, but they still have that support and that boost of like love around them, where they always feel part of the city and the club. And I think that's not, like, he was even saying he represented Liverpool Football Club at Houlier's funeral, which is lovely because he wasn't here all that long, and Houlier's a massive part of this club. And it's his birthday today, so happy birthday, Gerard.
Yeah, happy birthday.
But they just always got an affiliation with the club. I think it's brilliant. I don't think there's many like that.
No, there's not. So yeah, it's great to see. But Tsimikas, going a little off topic there, but kind of still.
As always, that's what we do.
It is, yeah. Now Tsimikas, he's looking like a great. I was going to say he's looking like a great signing. Like we didn't sign him last year, but it's just he didn't play fucking at all. That I forgot about him.
But he had injuries. He had COVID, and it's one of them. It is like it is like a new signing. So's Virgil van Dijk. He didn't play last season. So's Gomez. So's Matip. So's Henderson. It is a cliche that it's like a new signing. But if they haven't been there for nearly a full season and then they are there, it's like a new signing. Didn't have Virgil van Dijk for 9 months last season. You know what I mean? So it's like a new signing. And what a signing.
What a signing.
What I mean?
So yeah, great performance against Norwich, no less than we expected. Moving on, we played the team of former WWE wrestlers, Burnley. I can't believe Sean Dyche was like, I don't think we've done anything wrong. It's like, Sean, mate, there was fucking German suplexes getting thrown about and everything. Like,
don't think we done anything wrong. Like, fucking clear your throat, you big ginger dickhead.
No, the Undertaker would have been proud of some of the shit getting thrown there. It was just.
But do you know what done me in? I think it was it's 2-0, the 92nd minute or something. I think it was their captain flew in 2-footed. Who was it on? Possibly Harvey Elliott or Kostas. I don't know whether they were still on the pitch, can't remember. But flew in late. And if he'd have caught him, he's snapping his ankle. Do you know what I mean? And there's no need for that. You're 2-0 down. There's 30 seconds left. Fucking give in. Will you? Just give in. Give us the 3 points. Dickhead.
Like, don't get me wrong, I don't mind Burnley. They're a fighting team. They know they're not the best technically. They know they're not the most technically gifted side. So they do have to have that bit of fight about them. And I've got no problem with that. But when you're just outright going, there was nothing wrong. We didn't do anything. Like, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, that's just weird. Why lie about it when it's clear?
That's how they get away with it, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's just how but like Klopp, like, I can imagine if we'd have lost that, I think Klopp would have went and punched Sean Dyche's head in, because it was disgusting performance. They were just all over us from the word go. The referee, it's catch-22 with the referees and VAR, because you want them to step in games like that where you're getting bullied and physically it's getting a bit dangerous. They're dragging you, grabbing you by the fucking neck, they're swinging you around, going in 2-footed tackles. But then I don't want footy to be where you can't do that. So I prefer that every week if it was just consistent and it was allowed. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like, I was watching the 2001 season the other day. The likes of Gerrard, Vieira, Keane, Shearer, and they all just kick the derbies, just kick fuck out of each other all game, and it was brilliant. And things now, you wouldn't even get a booking for is now a straight red. So I'd prefer it to go back to that day, but I just wish we done it back to them. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Wish we had the players to do it back, but yeah, it is what it is. They are a team of fucking dogs, aren't they?
Yeah.
And
So
when you get into battles with
season.
them, you've got to have a plan B sometimes to try and outfight them as well. But luckily, we didn't have to this time round.
Yeah, that's one thing I want to actually ask you about as well. Obviously, we made no secret of our fucking hate for VAR last season and just refereeing in general. This season, it seems like they're taking a very different approach, and so far, so far so good. It's been more enjoyable. VAR isn't intervening as much. The referees are letting more go. The games are flowing better. It seems like they've finally gone, right, look, we need to fucking sort it out here because this is shite.
Yeah, it's they might have watched the Euros and seen how it was done in there. That was spot on. You never even seen VAR in the Euros unless it was absolutely desperate measures.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's what they've done. They've broadened the margins, haven't they, for the offsides. So it's level is now level. If you're clearly offside, you're clearly offside, sort of thing.
The way it should be.
They're not looking at stupid little clips on the heel for penalties and all that as much. They are, if the referee doesn't give something, VAR is popping up and saying, hang on, you've missed that, which hasn't been the case in the past. And the referees are going to look at the monitors, as we've seen at Chelsea. And it took all 3 seconds to give that penalty.
Yeah.
Which was the correct decision. But that's what it's there for. They made it was like a fight between the referee and VAR. The VAR was overruling the ref, and then the ref was like, hang on, no, you're not. So go against it, and vice versa. So now they must have had a talk. They're all in cohesion. They're all here to make the game better. And so far, so good.
Yeah, hopefully we can stop talking about VAR this season and talk about the actual footy going on, because that's you could tell even pundits and stuff were getting sick of talking about VAR last season. So hopefully we can just fucking put that to one side and talk about the footy.
It was mad being in it. So it was mad being in a live game when the VAR decisions are there, because it took me down to Chelsea, as you know.
Yeah.
And that was a clear handball, clear penalty, clear sending off from where we were. We were in the Kenny Dagley stand, fucking in the gods. And from where we were, all that was instant. Referee should have decided it. He never. And then it comes up on the screen, then VAR. I think VAR possible penalty or something.
Yeah.
And then VAR possible red card. They were like, there's no qualms about it. It's gonna be. It is what it is. To our lad.
Well, that's it. I don't think anybody's got any. I don't think anybody would have any gripes with VAR if it was used in the right way. But that's been the problem. If it's used in the right way, there's no doubt it's going to help the game, help the referees, help the players, help everybody. But it shouldn't have took them, this is what, the 3rd season with it now, I think, is it?
Yeah.
So, yeah, all right, I get that. There's going to be a sort of a testing process, a feeling out process, if you like, of getting it right. And hopefully now this is the first step of them having it right for the foreseeable future.
Yeah, well, I've lost that feeling as well of dread when we score, because I couldn't enjoy a single goal last season. After that Derby goal as well.
Yeah.
Where Henderson's, and that was ruled out. That's what VAR done it for me then. I haven't enjoyed a single goal since that point. You're just waiting for the talk in the ear to say no goal. But I've lost that this season so far. I've celebrated every goal like VAR doesn't exist. And I celebrated the handball on the line against Chelsea like it was already a penalty, because you're putting 2 and 2 together. It's a fucking penalty. You know what I mean? So, yeah, hopefully it stays this way. No doubt there'll be something daft will happen soon, but
I'm sure
hope it's not against us.
Let's hope it's fucking not every week like it was last season. The Chelsea game anyway, so say kind of disappointing but kind of understandable in a way. I want to just get your thoughts on the Chelsea goal. How the fuck that's gone in, I'll never know.
It shouldn't have, because it wasn't a corner in the first place. They were offside for the initial attack. So VAR fucking pull that up, dickheads. But no, the initial tackle was offside, so the corner shouldn't have been given. It was just one of them. It was an absolutely brilliant ball into the box, and he's had to just touch it, hasn't he? Just a dink on the top of the head, and it's gone right through everyone. At that speed, it is hard to stop. So I can't really blame anyone. But we should, our focus should be to win every header in the box and don't let it go to them first. And we failed that time.
Yeah. Well, that's it. My thing was, do you blame the defence for not getting that header first? Because Kai Havertz isn't the biggest player. He shouldn't really, like you say, he shouldn't be winning headers against with Matip or Van Dijk in there, really. No one should.
I think that's part of the problem, is that I think they sort of disregard him, and people were marking Lukaku and
maybe
centre halves and stuff like that. I think you disregard the little fellas, and you probably go Andy Robbo or Trent, get on him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's just like a little backup, but it was a good goal. It was a good goal. Well worked corner, to be fair. But he was in acres of space. But again, he had his had his back to goal, and he just nodded it on. So in that sense, it is one of them goals where they can do that 20, 30 times. It'll only go in once or twice.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it was against us, it went in.
Do you think Alisson's position could have been a bit better for the goal? Or is it just simply not anticipated it?
It's just hard to say off a corner. I think, to say, off a free kick, you sort of, there's only one or two ways the ball can go, left or right. In this position, it's like whereabouts in the box is it landing. So it's hard to assess his positioning for a corner, but it's one of them. It was just a well-worked goal for me. I thought I didn't really moan. I was just like, bit gutted they've scored because they've done fuck all. We've had them under pressure for quite a bit. I thought, again, Firmino kept dragging them out and putting the ball in behind. We were having our attacks. We weren't getting many shots on target. We weren't causing them too much issues, but they didn't worry me at all. Only on the counter when it was 1-0. That's when I was more concerned. When it was 1-0 to them, and you're thinking, we've pushing a bit high up the pitch now.
Yeah. No, I mean, I was in work, so I was only able to sort of keep glancing at it every now and again on my phone. But when I did see it, like you say, when they had 11 men, I wasn't particularly worried about them. They didn't look like they were going to do much. I seen Chelsea fans on Twitter and stuff saying, we were in control of the game when we had 11 men. It's like, but you weren't.
No, they weren't.
If you look at the stats before and after they had 11 men, then the stats are still all in our favour. So we were very much in control of the game. I don't understand how they gave Christensen man of the match on Sky. Very clearly, it was the keeper, Mendy.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
He made about 4 or 5 saves that second half.
I had to give it to him more, Elliott. Thought Harvey Elliott was absolutely exceptional. Thought he was brilliant. So he controlled the midfield for a kid doing that. He wanted to be on the ball constantly. He was looking for Salah to run in behind. And once they get a little partnership, it's going to be decent.
It's going to be dangerous. Very dangerous.
But I like the idea of the versatility we've got, where Harvey Elliott's not a right midfielder, he's a right winger. So when he pushes up in Salah's place, and Salah goes central, and Jota goes left wing, and when Mane's not playing well, you can just rotate that whole system, and people won't know what to do.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. That's what was so good about the front three when they were in the prime, is they were pretty much interchangeable, the three of them. Yeah. And they could all swap positions with each other and all be as effective during the game. And if you can get that in midfield, it's even better than having it with your front three, you know what I mean? So you haven't got to worry about one player going up and one player staying back. Because if that other player goes forward, someone else can drop back. And so it's exactly what you want. You want an interchangeable sort of midfield like that.
Yeah, you need versatility. There's no point saying, we need an exact like for Fabinho. You don't, because Henderson can do that role, Milner can do that role, at a push, Thiago can do that role. Same way Henderson playing now, a bit further up from Fabinho. Elliott, Curtis Jones, Oxlade, Keita, they've all got their own attributes, but they can all play them roles. At a push, you could probably push some of the centre mids out wide as well if you needed to. Curtis Jones could probably cut in from the left, like he has done when he scored. There's options there, and just because they're not, that's not their preferred role, there's still an option, I'd rather have that all day than having a left winger, a right winger, who are nowhere as good as Mane and Salah, but earning 250 grand a week sat on our bench because we're desperate for that position to be covered.
Yeah.
It's covered. It's already covered. People just don't know it yet.
I agree. So we'll get onto that. So we'll get more onto that in a minute. Champions League draw. Fucking what a group.
What a group.
Um,
What's the 15 European titles or something between us?
Yeah. It's exactly the type of group that, like, it's the type of group you want. You don't want like fucking Wrexham and fucking Renfrew.
Well, if Wrexham are in it, mate, then fair play to them.
I mean, well, they've got fucking Ryan Reynolds as the owner now, haven't they? So they're not far off, lad. They're going to be there soon. No, it's the type of group you want, lad. It's like even City for once have got a half decent group.
Yeah, this is how unarsed I am, right? I don't know who's got it. Only Liverpool.
I mean, I say they've got a decent group. I couldn't tell you who they've actually got off the top of my head, like, but I know they haven't. Like, normally they get the fucking ones from like the Faroe Islands and fucking, you know, the lobster pot and that.
But that's what this is. That's what the Champions League's about for me, is getting a group like this.
Yeah, exactly.
Know what I mean? Atletico, Porto, and Milan. That's some group that it's, and hopefully we can go to a few of them away, because I'd love to go to a Milan.
Yeah, no, it's an unbelievable group, and I'm looking forward to it. Just some of the players you're going to get to see, because of it. Suarez back at Anfield again. We can recreate that picture on your top. Fucking, you know, Zlatan coming to Anfield to get volleyed by Van Dijk. I'd say a Porto player if I knew any, but I don't. So
again, Porto are one of them. They'll be a decent side, and when you do look at the team, you probably know a few names off the top of your head. You don't, but Atletico Madrid are an absolutely unbelievable team.
Just don't play Argentina in goal. Sad.
No, they've got an absolutely brilliant team, and they're going to be hard. They're going to be hard to beat. And then AC Milan are not the AC Milan they used to be. Porto are always there or thereabouts, the same, aren't they? Yeah. They're a hard team to beat, but you expect to beat them. Yeah. AC Milan, you don't know what to expect. Some of these players have probably never played in the Champions League before.
Yeah.
So, but it's great to see teams like that back.
Absolutely. So, yeah, it's like, I think this AC Milan side are a bit like Porto now at the minute, is where you kind of expect them to be in the Champions League, but you'd expect to beat them. Like they were seeded fourth in the draw, like, so that kind of tells you the level that they're at the minute. But like you say, 7-time European Cup winners, they deserve to be. They should be in there. If we were putting teams in on merit, they're in there second after fucking Real Madrid. You know what I mean? So no, it's great to have them back in the Champions League, and I hope we fucking absolutely tonk them. Obviously,
yeah, we will do.
I'd say not Porto, sorry, Atletico. Atletico's the one, and I think Anfield for that will be fucking bouncing. Obviously, it was the last game at Anfield before the lockdown, so, and obviously we know what happened there.
I think if we win our 3 Anfield games, we qualify, as far as I'm concerned. Should beat Porto home and away. We should really beat Milan home and away. Atletico away is a different kettle of fish. It's probably one of the hardest draws you can get. I'm just glad we got them at this stage, because them over 2 legs is an absolute bally. I'd rather play the likes of PSG and Real Madrid than that at this moment in time, over 2 legs, than someone like them who are going to just sit back and defend. But yeah, I think we'll be fine. I love that no one's given us a chance in hell of even winning the Carling Cup this season. It's fucking ridiculous. But
it's what we like, though.
Time will tell.
Us as fans love that we get wrote off. So I'm buzzing that everyone writes us off, because one, it takes all the pressure off Jurgen Klopp, I think, for the season, because nobody thinks we're going to do anything anyway. And then when we do, it makes them look even better.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I've got no issue. The issue for me is, obviously, you've got these little cry asses over deadlines and that, and they're more concerned about buying a player than about what's in front of them, the squad they've got there, and they've wrote us off as well. But to say no one's interested in them. Oh, fucking lemons.
I put something on Twitter the other day about FSG. Now, obviously, after the Super League fucking fiasco, we both said, you know, not the biggest fan, not even close.
I wanted them hung, lads. I wanted
So
them
did I,
hung
so
on the
did I.
Anfield Road.
And I've obviously we've fucking gained a bit of perspective now. I can look at the good without forgetting about the bad. You know what I mean? But I put on Twitter, like, people are saying they haven't invested. Like, we bought a £36 million centre half. We're extending Annie Road. They fucking redeveloped the fucking Kirby training ground. They give new contracts to 6 or 7 fucking world class players. Like,
People think them contracts are free.
I just don't understand how they don't see that as investment, because it's not, like you said, because it's not a shiny new player. Do you think it's all fucking Ultimate Team?
But that is the thing. Like, they'd probably give Phillips an extra few grand a year, Williams an extra few grand, longer contract. So when you're looking at the books, that extra 10, 15 grand a week, what it equates to, you know what I mean?
Mm.
It's an extra, like, what, 40 grand, 10,
Fucking
450 grand. So between them, there's $1 million out in wages on 2
Yeah.
kids, just an estimate. And then you've got your Van Dijk, he'll be on mega money now because he deserves it. Alisson, Trent, Fabinho, they'll be on mega money.
Robbo, Hendo,
Robbo, Henderson, yeah, they're all. So
and obviously
you're talking,
for fucking Salah as well soon. So
that's probably a 20, 30 million pounds spent on contracts to keep our core and our best players and our prospects here. Because next season, you don't want to see Nat Phillips going for £10 million. He's worth more than that. So
Yeah.
at least if he's got tied down to a contract and he's not getting playing time, he decides to go, then you're getting 20, 30 million for him in today's market, definitely. But yeah, people don't see that. They don't see the whole investing within as investments. They just, if you're not buying a player, you've spent no money. So all this net spend shit, the main stand was loans off their own company that they're paying back. So that's not, no interest, none of that shite. They've sorted that themselves. Any road's going to be the same. That's them spending money. The money the club's earning is going on stuff like that. Now look at the situation Arsenal were in when they built that stadium. They didn't spend for fucking years. It ruined Arsene Wenger's legacy there, and they're not doing that. They're not doing that to us. We might not have bought in this window. Well, we have. We've bought Canate for 36 million. We spent about 20 or 30 on contracts. There's, say, 60, 70 million pound window, plus an Anfield Road getting extended in a year or two. That work started. The main stand's already there. They've got the best manager in the world, and they've won us nearly everything. How can you complain? How can you say they don't want to be here or they're only here for profit? If they were here for profit, there'd be no new stands. There'd be no new contracts. They'd just fleece us for everything like the other two cowboy bastards tried to do. Yeah, I understand they want to make money. Of course they do. It's a business. You've got to make money. But I've said this before. If you buy something for 20 quid and you sell it for 30, do you buy something for 40 or do you buy it for 30? Or do you know what I mean? You want to make a bit of money on something you bought. That's the way we work as human beings, as businesses. That's the way it is. You don't want to go, oh, I've made 70 quid, so I'll go and spend 150 quid on something similar. That's just not how it works. It's not sustainable. It's not how it works. You can't do it that way. And sometimes you can because you have to. The likes of Van Dijk, the likes of Alisson, you get rid of Coutinho to fund that. But even without Coutinho's sale there, I think Van Dijk, Klopp is knocking on that door saying, I want these two, bolster my team. And I think he gets them. I don't think it makes a difference. I just think it's a more sustainable business. We're not in the red. We're making profit. Even this window, I think we made like 4 million profit or something, 8 million profit.
Yeah.
That's 8 million in our bank after a massive time without any earnings. So as much as I wanted a player, I wanted a striker, I wanted a backup right back if there was one available. I totally believe that this is nothing to do with money. I think it's down. Klopp will be waiting for somebody to get in either January or next summer when Mane's a year older and Salah's a year older and Henderson's a year older, and I think we'll see a complete overhaul over the next 2 or 3 seasons. But now's not the time. We don't need to.
Yeah. And I think what people are also forgetting is, obviously, we've had the pandemic. Liverpool are one of the only clubs in the Premier League that didn't take out any loans whatsoever to cover themselves during the pandemic. People don't understand that. That alone leaves us in a better position than fucking 9/10 of the Premier League, you know what I mean?
But
So
even people are having a go at Fenway Sports, and don't get me wrong, I don't agree with it, but from a business point of view, if it was bad a big business, if you could pay your wages off the government, you fucking would. Of course you would. You wouldn't pay it out your own pocket if there was an option there to help you pay your staff through the government. You know what I mean? That government fucking fleeces us enough. Why can't some businesses do it back to them? So I get people saying, "Oh, they were going to fail out the staff and all that." And what? They were going to get 80% of the staff covered and pay the extra 20% instead of paying 100% themselves. And then they're moaning that they shouldn't have done that, but then they want money spent in the market. Put the match tickets up to 80 quid. There's protests, and it shouldn't be 80 quid. Of course it shouldn't. We earn enough money, but people want the money being spent, millions and millions every year, but they won't pay into the club anymore. So it is catch-22. They want to put the tickets up to buy more players, to earn an extra few million to put in the kitty, and everyone agreed. But it's not the fans who go to match who are all fuming. They're not asked. They don't want to be affected by match ticket prices because they give everything they've got to the club. It's these fucking dickheads on Twitter who've never stepped foot in the city, never been to a game, probably never even watched it on the fucking telly, who are getting all upset over these signings. And we just could do without them, to be honest.
I think for me, it's what gets me is the ones who want FSG out so much and protest against them and make up fake protests that aren't going to happen on Saturday and stuff like that.
Or the one from the Arholes to the Annie Roads. The Annie Roads closed. The Arholes is within a fucking stone's throw away from the ground.
Yeah, that one. But what gets me is they want FSG out so bad, yet they've probably bought, I know we've only released 2 so far, but they'll buy every kit every season, spend 500 quid on it altogether, you know what I mean? It's like, well, do you want them out or do you want to keep giving them money? Like, make your mind up. Stick
Exactly.
to one thing or the other.
So that's it. Then where it hurts, if you're really against the owners and you want to see them crumble, then don't pay anything in. But to be honest, the club's big enough. I think if we wiped all the fans away now and all the merchandise, we'd still make money off Sky and that. It's just one of them. But the people I feel for is, people who go to the match every week and they invest every penny in home and away. Or even people who go to the odd few games, but they've got Liverpool in their heart, they're genuine. And it is hard to sit here and go, yeah, they've signed Lukaku. Why have they signed Lukaku? Because they spent millions on Werner, who was shit. So they've had to replace him with a has-been who will have another year or 2 in him at a decent level. Man United spending fucking 2 million a month on a has-been, 36-year-old Ronaldo. Don't get me wrong, amazing footballer. For me personally, the best ever. But is he the Ronaldo they signed 11 years ago? No, he's not. He still scored 10 or 15 goals. Not going to win them fuck all. And people want in on that. And people were desperate. Let's get Suarez back. Let's get anyone we can just sign, just to say we've signed someone. That's what they wanted. If we decide no one, if we decide nobody and we announce Canate on deadline day, no one would moan because they just want that little bit of excitement because they're thick. But yeah, it annoys me. I feel sorry for the real fans when they go on Twitter and the social media because they are hounded by these plant pots, and they have got. Someone noticed the other day, someone comparing us to Arsenal, and the same post got shared by so many different, as if it was like bot accounts of FSG out. And they were saying that's a bit strange. It's more or less the same wording to link us with Arsenal. Like we're run the same as Arsenal. We're not at all. Arsenal was spending 250 grand a week on Willian. Didn't kick a ball for them and was shite. You know what I mean? That's what we can't afford to do. We can't afford to sit there and go, right, who's going to play in case Salah gets injured? Sign ex-player. Or Saul, 250 grand a week. No. Who's going to play in case Mane gets injured? I'm just throwing names up. Put Saul there. No. 250 grand a week, just in case. You can't run a business like that. You can't have 250 grand players on the bench unless you're fucking cheating. Unless you're corrupt, unless you've got oil money and you're not asked where the money's coming from. And unfortunately for these fans, we are asked. We're doing it the right way. Klopp's doing it the right way. And I guarantee you, in January or in the summer, we'll bring in players that blow your mind, and we'll be all happy again.
Yeah. Let me just ask you this. So I've seen somebody's theory about FSG the other day, that the reason they're giving all these contracts out and the redeveloping the ground and all that is because they're nailing their assets down because they are ready to sell. Would you agree with that?
No, personally, with the pandemic and that, I think it'd be stupid to do that. They've been offered apparently $1 billion, $2 billion. Someone's approaching with $3 billion. They're not interested in selling. They've invested too much for it to be worth nothing to them. You know what I mean? They've connected with the club. You've got that Linda who genuinely shows interest in the club. She loves the club. She's like the front one of it, FSG. And the shit they get, don't get me wrong, I get it, it's a business, but shouldn't really be hounding owners unless they're doing something drastically wrong. When they have done drastically wrong and they've tried to put the ticket price up to 77 quid, and they were even like the Super League and all that, they have been the failout. They have had backlash, and they've turned around on all of it. And you've got to give credit where it's due, because some owners wouldn't. Some owners wouldn't do that. So they've accepted they were wrong. They've come out, apologised time and time again, albeit, but it is what it is. They have, but you still can't say they haven't invested. Like, look at Everton years ago, sold Arteta, never spent a penny. We've sold players year after year. Arsenal have done it. Chelsea went through a phase before Abramovich where they were doing it. That's look at Blackpool. They were fleecing money. Rangers went through a spell where they were doing it, where the money's just getting dripped out the club. Nothing's getting brought in. They're not doing that. They're not dripping the profit out the club. They are making a little bit of profit on the side of investing all sorts. So what have we made this year? 40 million and invested 36 back in. They made 4 million profit for the year, which will probably go towards paying the Anfield Road off. And then you've got your contracts on top of that, which, as we've just discussed, 20 to 30 odd million in wages over the 4 or 5 years. So there's your assets tied down. There's your core of your club tied down for the future, for it to be sustainable. Don't want to be going through a time again where you don't know whether your best players are going to be staying because they're not on contracts, or whether they're going to run contracts down and go for nothing like Mbappe's doing now. We don't want to be doing that. We want players to come here, love us, stay, and Klopp can't speak highly enough of the owners. When he's had issues with them, he's condemned them. If he comes out now and says, really wanted a right back, really wanted the forward, got told no, there's no money, then I'll go, absolutely, that's a fucking disgrace. They should have went in their own pockets and spent a few quid. But I don't think Klopp wants that. I don't think they want that. That's not how you run a business. They'll be balanced again, all balanced, and then make a few quid. The money will start coming through the turnstiles. Sky will start paying back out again. Start getting bonuses for competitions, and there'll be 40, 50 mil in the pot January, 60, 70 mil in the pot in the summer, hopefully. And we go again. But at this moment in time, fans want to overhaul, and it's not needed whatsoever. It's literally not needed. The backup we've got, the versatility we've got, is what it is. And as I say, you don't want to be spending 200-300 grand a week on a player who's going to be sat on the bench. That's the only way City and Chelsea do it. They offer big wages to substitutes. They tell them you mightn't feature as much as you like, but here's fucking 300 grand a week to do it. You know what I mean? So
yeah, like I say, it's not a sustainable way of running a business, is it? So some fans might like to kid themselves that it's not a business, but sadly, football is a business these days. So, and as business models goes, FSG is working. It's one of the best ones. So, really, I don't think there's much to fucking grumble about, to be honest. But leave them to it. They've got their opinions. They've as fucking nearsighted as they are. We've got ours, which is fucking more realistic. So
it just annoys me. People don't really judge footy as it is. As I say, the versatility in our team. You've got your 3 starting. The only issue for me is the right back. But then you've got Milner could play there. Gomez can play there. and you've got Nico Williams who can play there. So there's 3 potential for right back. Centre half, there's 8 of them. Left back, Kostas and Robbo, that's sorted. Centre mids, Fabinho in the centre defensive mid role. You've also got Henderson, Milner, Thiago who can fill that gap. You 2 more forward centre mids. Henderson, Thiago, Curtis Jones, Elliott, Oxlade-Chamberlain, Keita. Left wing, Mane, Jota, Minamino, Curtis Jones, Origi. Right wing, Salah, Elliott. Again, Origi, Minamino. They can all play wherever. Up front, Jota, Firmino, Origi. Again, at a push, Minamino. You could even go as far as saying Oxlade. It sounds stupid, it sounds far-fetched, but we've got that much versatility in that squad that players will and can play anywhere. And I think that's better than having a designated left winger, designated right winger. And then you look at a bench and you tell me, if you're playing in a game, you've only got 7 subs on the bench. Where are all these attacking options getting put? Because you need a centre half on the bench, a full back on the bench, and a goalie. So you only got 4 attacking options. A centre mid. Well, you put 2 centre mids, a winger, and a striker. So there's not all that many options to have all these players on the bench anyway.
Yeah.
But at the moment, I've seen a thing on Twitter yesterday saying Liverpool are only registering 24 players at the moment because of you can only have 17 foreign players registered and so many homegrown. We would have replaced Origi because Origi didn't go. We couldn't bring in another player who was foreign. Do you get me?
Yeah.
They're the rules. People don't grasp that either. You can only have a certain amount of foreign players in your squad, certain amount of English players in your squad. And yeah, that would have been, if Origi went out, we'd have brought someone in if we could. But I just think the squad there, when you name the squad in each position where someone can play, City's major 11 is immense. Their substitutes they've lost Aguero. Their squad's not all as good as it used to be. They've lost Silva, Company, Fernandinho.
He's still there.
Fernando, is it? Who was it? Can't remember.
But yeah, they had another one like, but
they've lost 4 or 5 players who they can't physically replace over a period of time. Their squad's not as good as it was. Chelsea's again. You're on paper replacing Lukaku with Timo Werner looks brilliant. Timo Werner's been shit for you now. You're not the same player he bought. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's all on paper, but ours at the moment, I think our squad's capable of competing on all fronts. Really do.
Yeah, I do. It's going to be. I've got a good feeling about this season. I really have. And we've just got to believe, haven't we? That's what Jurgen Klopp said when he come in. We've got to change from doubters to believers, and the teams, some fans are fucking going back to being doubters. So just fucking believe in them. They've done it once, they'll do it again.
Yeah, there's nothing else to say really. Some fans on Twitter who I wouldn't call fans, I'd just call, what would you call them?
Leeches.
Glory hunting bellends. Basically, that when it's not going all that good, when they can't see the direction, where they're not quite sure because we haven't got an extra striker on the bench and they all think the fucking club's crumbled to bits because of it. They're just bellends to me. They're not worth a fucking carrot. The real fans in the ground who'll sing their art out every single week. The people in the pubs who'll be fucking punching tables if we concede, who'll be jumping up when we score, who'll sing their hearts out from the pubs. They're the proper fans. People who'll go around the ground and celebrate when we win instantly the minute we fucking win. They're the proper fans. And then you've got your negative ones who aren't worth the carrot. And again, everyone's got opinions and all that, but this club is about supporting and believing. And without the support, you're not a supporter. So that's it for me. Support or you're not a supporter. Have your say. If you disagree with the transfer window, if you disagree with the owners, that's fine. You can have your say, but fucking rein it in a bit after a bit. You know what I mean? It's gone, done. But Liverpool won the league, the Champions League. We've lost Gini Wijnaldum, Shaqiri, Lovren, and we brought in Canate, Thiago, Curtis Jones, Harvey Elliott, Jota. So it's not all that bad, is it, really, if you think about it?
No, it just, and I get it with what people are saying about Wijnaldum. Obviously, we've lost his availability, which was his sort of biggest trait, I suppose, last season. But at the end of the day, we knew he was going for a long time, and like Klopp said, if there was a player out there that we would have wanted, that was the right player, then we would have went for him. It's as
Yeah.
simple as that.
I think
And
Thiago's been brought in a year in advance because he knows Wijnaldum's going. Wijnaldum, 31-year-old Wijnaldum, with Henderson, Fabinho, Thiago, isn't getting in that team starting. And again, this is where I say, you can't afford to be offering him. He's on 260 grand a week at PSG.
yeah,
He doesn't merit that if he's not going to be playing. He's a brilliant player, done no wrong for us, worked his ass off. I didn't think he was as good as in his last year as he's been. I didn't think he done all that to deserve a big, massive contract extension. And if he wasn't going to be starting every week, then you can't really be paying that money out. And I totally get that. I totally get it. And that's why they were and ahhing over Henderson. Henderson's probably on about 200 grand a week. And he's 30, 31. How long is he going to be starting for? But he's our captain. You can't just turn your back on your captain like that. That's dog shit if you do that. He deserved his contract. He deserves to be here for as long as he wants to be here. I'd have said the same about Gerrard. It's different with your captain.
absolutely.
You know, time will come when you can't fit him in the team because there's a young, better player in, and it happens. And the day will come, but until that day does come, then Henderson starts. But at this moment in time, I don't see where Wijnaldum got in this team.
No, I don't myself. And that's the thing, because he played so much last season due to injuries, due to other players playing out of position and stuff like that. He had a bigger role than maybe he would have. Maybe people expected last season. I think people would have expected Thiago to play more. Obviously, he got the fucking injury against the shite. So a lot of factors meant he played pretty much every game last season, which, like you said, just wouldn't have been the case this season. Would he have been happy to play 15, 20 less games this season? No, of course he wouldn't have. He's a player still in his prime. He's probably going to PSG. He'll get a chance to play the role he plays for Holland, where he's further forward, scoring goals, and he'll tear that league apart. Like he really will, and it's as simple as that. So he's gone to go and just fucking get a payday, win a few league titles, and retire with a nice collection. And fucking fair play to him. Yeah,
Made up for him. He deserves it. So say if you're getting the option there to get that wage and be playing with the likes of Messi and Mbappe and Neymar, you're not turning it down to sit on our bench with fucking Origi higher.
No, you're not.
You know what I mean? And that's what I mean. He's going to be playing there, and because it's a shitter league, shitter level, slower, the demands won't be on him as much. And I wish him well, but when you haven't, people are saying you haven't replaced him. Again, I go back to the new signs. Oxlade was injured most last year. Keita was injured most last year. Minamino got loaned out because we had to bring someone in the transfer window. So it was one out, one in sort of thing for the squad numbers. People are saying the back on Minamino already. He's played about 8 games for us. He had a brilliant pre-season. Southampton wants to sign him. I mean, if Klopp straight away, no, he's not going. He looks a bit lightweight. So does Harvey Elliott. So does Mane. So does Jota. They all look lightweight. We're not a strong, physical, angry team. We're not. You know what I mean? But give the lad the chance. Minamino will get brought into the squad. Again, Oxlade, Keita, if we can keep them fit, even if it's for only 15, 20 games a season, it's a massive help. They are the players that can really help the squad. And then you've got the young lads, the likes of Jones and Harvey Elliott, who are going to just strive for success. They want to do what Trent Alexander-Arnold done, get in the team and stay there. And I don't see why they can't, because there is going to be places available in the months coming. It's going to be a long season. Hopefully, you play 60-odd games. You play in every game. You play in every cup final. And we'll have to use the squad. But if you say to me now that African Cup of Nations, Mane and Salah are going, then you've got Jota left wing, Firmino up front, and Harvey Elliott right wing. I'm not distraught over that, to be honest with you.
No, I'm not.
I'm not. Know what I mean? For 2 or 3 weeks, for 2 or 3 games. It's not the end of the world, that.
No. Like I say, you just got to
Really not.
fucking have a bit of perspective and look at it fucking rationally, haven't you? And if you do that, it's not fucking all doom and gloom as some people will have you believe. But let's look ahead to the next game if we can, just a little bit. So we've got Leeds after the international break. We all love international football, of course. Yeah, Leeds on the Sunday. Ellen Road full bouncing. It's going to be a tough game, but I think Leeds are a weird team for me. They're a good team because of the energy. They never stop running. So if you switch off for 5 minutes, they'll punish you. But I think if you can match them as best you can, you should beat them.
Yeah, I think we've got to approach that game as the away team, because not often do we.
No.
We often go when we try and take the play and we'll have all the possession and we'll attack. I think let them have a bit more of the ball. Let them get a shot at a false sense of security. Let them think they can pick us off in times and then just bombard them. And I think with Salamane and Jota, even Firmino, I think games like that where Firmino's so clever, where he'll run in, he'll run towards our goal, take a defender with him, and then Salah and Mane will come in behind, as they have done many times. So again, depends what Liverpool turn up. If we turn up confidence, put them 3 or 4 past them. If you're a bit unsure and you don't take your early chances, then it could be an edgy game. But it should be a good game.
Yeah. No, I think Leeds are one of them teams you kind of, for me especially, I always, even though they were out of it for years, you kind of always associate Leeds with being in the Premier League. Ellen Road for years was still always packed in the Championship and even in League One. So it's nice to have them back. I say Ellen Road's a great stadium. So looking forward to it, and think we should, if we're on form, if the right Liverpool turns up, like you say, I reckon 3-0, to be honest with you. Because they were poor against United when they got beat.
He's made a prediction. He's made it, so we lose.
First one of the season.
Yeah, I'm going to go for... I'll go for 2-0. For once, I'm usually a bit more over the top, aren't I? I think 4-0 every week. I just can't see anyone beating us, and it annoys me because like, even that with Chelsea, when people are moaning, we played 10 men. I'd rather play 11 men Chelsea than 10 men Chelsea. 10 men Chelsea don't even try and get out the round. 11 men Chelsea do at least a little bit. But I'll go for 2-0. Harvey Elliott's going to score. I can't wait.
Well, here's a prediction for you, and it's not about the game itself; it's about the whole season, and it's about Harvey Elliott. So I think 100% if he plays regularly this season, he's winning Young Player of the Year.
Yeah, I'd bet my life on him. And I don't want to put too much pressure on him so early. I really don't. But it's hard not to get excited when you're seeing him come in. He's coming out of position as well. He usually plays out wide. He's playing right side of midfield. You know what I mean? He's having to do a defensive duty as well as a attacking duty. He's having to not be on the last ball. He's having to play the last ball sort of thing. It is a bit of a different role than he's played. I think he played there a few times for Blackburn as well. But he is a forward.
Yeah.
Anywhere in the front 3. I was going to put a thing out. I'll do it on this because if I do it on me Scout Power Twitter, when people, there's just full of knobheads. But I was saying, if we stay fit, right, and we use the squad, then Mane's getting 15 goals plus, Salah's getting 20 goals plus, Jota's getting 15 goals plus, Firmino 10 plus, Harvey Elliott 10 plus, and who was the other one? And Minamino between like 8 and 12 or something like that. He'll get just over 10 if he gets played. And I think we've got goals in us. We've got Minamino's movement again, the way he just drifts in behind a bit like Jota, just casually. You're not even watching what he's doing because he's hardly moving and then he's gone. So I liked him in pre-season. And I hope they all get a chance. But Harvey Elliott, definitely scoring 10 goals this season. And I'm open for me if they can use him forward a bit more. And that would be if Mane doesn't improve soon, that would be my go-to thing to do. It'd be Salah through the middle, Harvey Elliott on the right, and Jota on the left. And then if it's not working out, then you take Elliott off, Salah back where he was, Jota back up front, and bring Mane or Firmino on. We've got options. We've got loads of options, and even that is making me want to go on FIFA now and put them all in their positions because it's just exciting. But it's exciting. And if you're not excited about this season, you fucking just swerve footy, honestly. If you're in the doom and gloom because United have got Ronaldo and Pogba and Cavani, or fucking gobshites, Chelsea, Timo Werner, Lukaku, not asked, City, 100 mil on the fattest calves in footy, you can't stay on his feet. He's dog shit, absolute dog shit. Him, an absolute embarrassment, lad. Did you see him at England yesterday? I felt like I don't even like England. Don't like England in the pointless games until they get the semi-final. But even that yesterday, I just wish he got injured. Him and Kane together. Oh my God, I couldn't bear it. I'm glad he never got in. Couldn't bear him just both being on the floor all the time. 100 million on a player who isn't as good as Phil Foden.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you that now, he's not.
I agree.
So yeah, ridiculous. People would have jumped at that just because it was a signing. So yeah, there's no need, no doom and gloom. We haven't signed a striker, but we've got all the options and more. We've got a versatile squad, albeit an aging squad, but that process isn't ready to be overhauled yet. It doesn't need to be done. This is still Klopp's team. The majority of them are still Champions League and Premier League winners. So give them the credit they deserve, give them the respect they deserve, and fucking support them till they're no longer here. That's all we can do.
That's it. Well, look, it's been fucking great to finally talk about the Reds with you again. We will make this. We will obviously be back to normal soon. I am away in a couple of weeks, so we might miss a week, maybe. And then I think, well, you're possibly away after me, so might miss 2 weeks, maybe. But
I'll just take your laptop with you, and we'll do it on Zoom, and you can upload it.
I mean, to be fair, my laptop will be with me regardless. So,
piece of piss. You what?
My laptop, I will be taking my laptop with me regardless. Like so.
You're born. I'm just trying to get the top in.
Need something for the plane now, yeah. Buy it now, everyone. No, honestly, it's been fucking great to talk to you again about it. Again, we've been saying this for a while. Hopefully, we can get back to fucking doing them face to face again soon in person, which would be nice. And yeah, just fucking up the Reds and we'll smash Leeds.
Hopefully, up the Reds.